I am going to be passing it over to our beautiful sister.
Sorry, Fano, I'm a vapor. But so sorry if I have a little sneaky vape. So yeah, for those who don't know me, I am Dominique. I've been a part of this business for 3 years now, an SC. And yeah, the reason why I fell in love with this business is purely from the products. So just a backtrack about me, I've been on a journey for about 8 years now, maybe 12 years of not taking pharmaceuticals. I haven't taken any pharmaceuticals, no Panadols, no Nurofen, no nothing for over 12 years. I'm all about that herbal natural life. So I've done amazing studies on the body. And yeah, so today I really wanted to open up the floor, talk about the products, talk about the body, how the products coincide with our cellular structure, and open up the floor if you have any questions around the products and specific customers, specific diseases, whatever I can help with, I'm happy to pass on. So I just wanted to start by sharing some information with you guys, if you may or may not know this, but drop a 1 in the chat if you're a fan of Dr. Sebi. I don't expect much ones, but if you know any of the man named Dr. Sebi, I'm so excited if you don't, because I'm here to educate you. So in 1988, there was a man named Alfredo Brown Sebi, who is a very intelligent man. This man has never went to high school, he never went to school, he never went to kindergarten. He's an African man who's got Mexican blood in him as well. This man was on a journey because he was very sick, he was very obese, blah, blah, blah. And he ended up learning entirely about the body through studying the cellular structure of food and how that affects our insides. So this man went on to be worldwide famous. Please write down his name, Sebi. Please go and do your research. He will change your life. And what he is famous for is he proved to the world that the human body only contains one disease. So in 1988, this was proved in the New York Supreme Court that the body only has one disease. The body's one disease is called the mucous membrane. When the mucous membrane is compromised by an acidic environment, it then manifests into everything else. If you have mucus in your nostrils, you have a cold coming on. If you have mucus on your pneumonia tubes, you have pneumonia, right? If you have mucus on the brain, it's Alzheimer's. If you have mucus on the blood, it's rickets. If you have mucus, again, in the blood, it could be leukemia. Whatever your disease is, if it's in the womb, you think of every single time you have become sick, your first sign is mucus. Whether it's coming out of your nose, whether it's sitting in your throat, whether it's sitting in your vagina, or whatever it is, too much mucus is a sign that you are sick. So when the mucous membrane is compromised by an acidic environment, that's what happens, as it starts to put the disease in your body, right? And so what that has taught me, and throughout my whole journey, is that we are living electrical beings. So the food that we are supposed to consume needs to be living and electrical for your human cellular structure to be complete. Once again, you can go and fact check me, please. 1988 New York Supreme Court, Dr. Sebi, look into it. It's been proven, and yeah, gone through court and everything. So what that means, right, is our body is broken down into 3 sectors. If you're a science human, you would have learned about atoms and electrons and all the things, right? Once you take our cells that create our bloodstream in our body and you break that down and you take it under a telescope, it's made out of absolute nothing. Therefore, it has been proven that inside your atoms and your electrons and blah, blah, blah is nothing. Therefore, it's energy. We are energetic beings, right? We are electrical, we are alive, we are vibrating. That's why we have an aura. That's why it spreads. That, like, we are energy, vibrating energy, right? So the food that we need to eat is vibrating. It's electrical, which is why Juice Plus is amazing and actually benefits our body, is because the nutrients inside the capsule is alive. It's living. It's not dead. It hasn't got oxygen all over it, which kills the cells, right? And it's frozen, and it's frozen from the peak of ripeness. What this means is what we need to keep our body from having disease is micronutrients. Micronutrients is our little army. Micronutrients is a fancy word for cells. I mean, cells, right? Minerals, sorry. It's a fancy word for minerals. Minerals is what we need to not get sick. If your body contained the right amount of minerals, which is 102 minerals in the body we need, if your body had the right amount of minerals, you would not get sick because your mucous membrane would not be compromised. And so what's amazing about our products is we grow our products to the peak of ripeness. When the peak of ripeness, why is that so important? Is anything that is developed from the ground or a tree, the nutrients comes in, the stuff that we need to keep our body in complete structure comes in the last part of the apple developing. It is the last thing to develop in the apple, in the carrot, in the broccoli, in whatever comes from a tree or the ground. It is the last part. Now, most fruit and veggies are picked way too early before the peak of ripeness for multiple reasons. They need to be sprayed up, waxed up, they need to be shipped overseas, they need to be contained to go overseas to all these other different shores and land on these supermarkets, right? Juice Plus grows our fruit and veggies from the peak of ripeness, therefore they have the real nutrition that your body and your bloodstream needs, and it goes into your bloodstream within 7 minutes. Now, the blood is the food for the body. The blood is so important that if you're going to nurture something in your body, it is thy blood. Why is the blood so important? It's because it is the exact same thing that conducts energy and oxygen to the brain. Your brain is the thing that makes everything in your body work. If your brain has lack of oxygen, if you're vaping, okay, like me, if we vape, every time we vape, it stops our brain from receiving oxygen for a second. Okay, that's the truth. Like, can anyone remember that old nicotine ad? I don't know how old you are, but you would have a puff of the ciggy, the old nanny, and then her brain would stop. It's because our brain loses oxygen. So every single day we are consuming skin products, we are consuming shampoos, there's chemicals in our water, there's chemicals on our food, there's chemicals going in everything. There's chemical in the rain, there's chemical in the air. We live in the most diseased generation that there ever has ever to exist because of all these chemicals, right? So every single day your brain is trying to work 10 times harder to make the oxygen because it's fighting all these chemicals that you put in your hair through shampoo, right? So what our products do is within 14 to 28 days, it doubles your plasma cell. Why is that so important? Because the plasma cell is what removes waste from your body. It removes the toxins, the chemicals, but it also replenishes the cells that create iron. The reason why iron is so important is because it's the only mineral that is a magnetic mineral. Now, remember I said you need 102 minerals in your body to be healthy, right? Anyone who is sick is missing iron. Everyone, because iron is the most magnetic mineral. What that does is it takes all the minerals, the vitamin C, the calcium, the opium, everything our body needs, the copper. Your brain needs copper, right? Because copper is what creates electricity. So our capsules does all of this. I like, this is insane. This is why I love this. Our capsules contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, which is the 3 things that we need to keep our cells intact. Anything that's made from the jungle and is made from creation, was made from God, contains carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Things that are made through genetic food do not contain that cellular structure, therefore they hold no nutrition. They're made from starch. Starch is a chemical. Starch is a chemical to bind 2 unequal chemicals together. So they genetically, your food, you're eating chemicals, right? Ours is picked from the peak of ripeness. Peak of ripeness put into your system within 7 minutes. It doubles your blood plasma cell. Why is that so important? Because I said it nurtures the iron. Once your iron levels are so intact, it then goes to the brain. The brain then does what it's supposed to do and conducts electricity. Electricity then gets pumped out to your hearts, your lungs, your body, every nervous system that runs through our body, that is running through it. Now, when you have too much going on in the body or too much going on in your house, a fuse will switch off and it will shut the electricity down, right? If you've got too much power running through one circuit, it short circuits and it shuts the electricity down. That's what happens to your body when you don't have the right minerals functioning through it, which is why our omegas are so important. Our omegas come along and reopen up that fuse with the pomegranate seed oil and all the oils that feed our brain. They are brain food. Your brain then is receiving the nutrition that it's been missing for so long that you start having more eyesight, you start thinking clearly, you start having more energy, because now there's that fuse has been opened up, that the energy and the electricity can go to your sore hip that you've had for 10 years, and you start seeing a massive difference, right? The beautiful thing about our human body is it's broken up into 3 sectors, and if you see how in nature is created, there's so much signals and symptoms. Like, we have 3 sectors in our body, right? We have 3 things in our key: hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon. 3. Jesus rose on the 3rd day. All these things, when you look at nature, it starts to make sense. That Jesus also went into the desert for 40 days, and here we are running on a 40-day blood cycle. Once you start paying attention to how our Creator created signals and symptoms, He's teaching you right there what you need to do, right? So if anyone is sick, they should detox their body for over 40 days and then rebuild it back up. If you had a brain problem, you would build the brain back up with electricity, which is copper. If you go to an electrical field, you have copper running around, and then you have carbon brushes next to it, which creates the energy of electricity to go through your wires. If you short circuit it, it's fire. Okay? Electricity and energy is a vibration of who we are. So our products feed all of that. Our body's broken into 3 sectors: our central nervous system, which is our brain, which controls everything; our immune system, which is that blood plasma cell coming along and fighting any foreign thing that comes into your body; and our gut health. Our gut health controls our emotions. It controls how we think. Every little thing that we consume is food. I want you from to this day forward to watch yourself, what you're putting in your mouth every single day. Is it alive? Is it dead? Is it what? Is it covered in poison? Think about how that affects your brain and your moods, and how your moods affect how you operate in life. When they say you are what you eat, it is literal. It's literal, okay? So right there, our products cover all 3. I've already explained how we take the peak nutrition and put them in that capsule. I've explained how our blood is the most important thing in the body, because in Leviticus, in the Bible, it says the flesh of the life is through the blood. Okay? The flesh of life is through the blood. That's why when you get sick, you need to clean the blood out and rebuild it back up. Okay? So it doubles your blood plasma cell that is fighting disease and fighting everything that should not be in your bodies, just from shampoos that we're consuming. Little things like this. That's already doubled. And then, because it's doubled, is creating more energy and more iron. Iron is the food to the brain, which then creates more electricity, which gives you more energy in your body. That's why after taking Juice Plus for 3 weeks, you're like, whoa, I've got energy all of a sudden. What the hell's going on, man? I was tired 3 weeks ago having naps. Your brain has opened up more fuses. Okay? And now it's functioning how it should have always been functioning if we weren't eating all this crap, right? So yeah, it covers all the 3 sectors of our body. We also have our protein. Our protein breakdown is what breaks down amino acids. All right, amino acids is everything that makes up your cells. So every single day, humans are making new cells. You're making new skin cells. You're making new nail cells, hair cells, eye cells, heart cells. We make up, this blew my brain when I studied this, we make a whole new body every single year. New heart cells, new blood cells, new skin cells. It is constantly replacing yourself. That's why you'll go and cut yourself while you're doing dinner, and in 3 weeks, that cut won't be there anymore, because your body has replaced it and it has refixed it. Amino acids is what is making those cells. If you are lacking amino acids, you're not making new cells. That's why women who come out of pregnancies and they had their baby suck all the nutrients from them, all of a sudden they're losing their hair and it ain't growing back. You know what I mean? Because they're not making up those cells to make it back, which is amino acids. And protein is what breaks that down. Now, you get really toxic proteins out there that actually make you 10 times more sick. Ours don't do that. Soy protein, which is the difference with Juice Plus and other soy proteins on the market, when they take soy, it's a bean, and they process it too fast with hot oils, and it fills it with poison. Juice Plus takes the soy protein and processes those oils cold pressed. There's no heat, there's no chemicals. Once you bring heat to a certain nut or a certain bean, which all oils are created from nuts and beans, that removes the nutrition. So once you're having canola oil, you're drinking chemicals, drinking straight chemicals. Go to your olive oils, cold pressed, extra virgin, because they contain so much good nutrients. And that's what Juice Plus does with their protein and also their omega oils. So the oils in the omegas are alive, they're vibrating, and the nutrition can feed the brain, because we are living beings. Therefore, we need to be eating living, cellular, vibrating foods, right? And ours is all of that. I could go on and on and on, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just ask if anyone has any questions, because I get people in my inbox all the time asking me, how can my client lose weight and how can they do it, or what's with diabetes or whatever. If you have any questions that I can help, then that's ka pai, I will do that. But just to finish it up, our body works on a 4-month cycle. Our cells are replacing each other every 4 months. Okay, so if you are on a health journey, you need to be in it for longer than 4 months. Whether it's losing weight, whether it's gaining weight, whether it's you get migraines every day and you need to detox the brain and feed it with copper foods, whether you've got sore bones and you detox your bones and you feed that bones calcium, because those are the minerals. The easiest way to eliminate disease in your body is to figure out what minerals you're missing. We need 102. Each body part has their own minerals. Blood is iron, calcium is bones, brain is copper. Learn these things and feed your body what it's missing and what you need, if it's your guts or whatever it is. Learn these things. Learn them through Dr. Sebi, just like I done 11 years ago, By the way, they killed this man in police custody in 2016 because he was healing AIDS, cancer, all the diseases in the world. Go look him up. It sounds crazy to look him up. But yeah, so yeah, any questions? Don't be shy.
There was a question in the chat, sis, and it says, is there any pointers I could give to diabetics?
Diabetics they have too much sugar in their blood, right? And once your blood is doing too much work, that's when your cholesterol starts to do too much work. And so, because we can't make health claims, I got to be careful because it's being recorded. But what I would do to anyone that's diabetic is get them on 2 liters of water a day with the tiniest bit of Epsom sea salts. Epsom sea salts contain so much minerals, and that's a fast way to do it, while also getting her on our products, obviously. And the reason why the fruit is so good is because the fruit doesn't contain the sugar that's setting off her diabetes. Now, what our capsules actually do is once you start feeding your body what it's missing, it starts to then crave it. So all those cravings she has, whether she's having sugar cravings or whatever, they start to be eliminated. So she will naturally start to eat better, which is just amazing for anyone with diabetes. So learning that her body, just by taking these capsules, her body will be replacing her sugars levels the way that it needs to be at a dosage where it's not going to set her bloodstream, because I don't know what diabetes she is, but whether it's not going to set it too high or too low, it's going to keep it really well, because all the sugars in the fruit aren't fake sugar, it's real sugar, so it's not going to harm her the way that other things will. And getting her on that 2 liters of water with a drop of Epsom salts, because all the minerals that she's missing from her diet are getting instantly replaced. Now, we are saltwater beings, meaning the water that's in us actually contains salt. So you just adding a little bit of, please make it Epsom salts, because actual salt is so bad for your cholesterol that it's going to do the opposite. But if you've Epsom salts or sea salt, because sea salt has The ocean water has the same amount of minerals and the same cellular structure than our blood does. They are identical. So if you want to know that there's a creator, that right there. The ocean will literally heal you, and it contains all of those. And you get salts that are being sold every day that are straight from the ocean, filled with those minerals. Putting that salt in your water is going to replenish the cells that are being attacked from the diabetes, because the cholesterol is working too hard. When the cholesterol, like, you just imagine a little rat race going like this. This is her body and her bloodstream. It's called the cholesterol. And the cholesterol is what empties out disease in the body. So it's going too hard, which is why her body is going into a state of diabetes. If you like just get her, maintain her sugar levels and replace it with sugar she needs, because our body needs certain sugars, it will start to lower all of that. Does that make sense? And once it starts to lower that, she will start seeing the results she needs inside of her. But I would get her specifically on the fruits and berries, because those are the sugars that she's missing and can't have because of her diabetes. And the reason why I say that is Juice Plus is designed to miss all of your allergy receptors. So she's going to miss all of that. It's not going to go into her. It's not going to go into her cells. It's going into her blood. Her blood's then going to feed it straight to her brain. And she needs those certain types of healthy, real sugars, if that makes sense. Where if you went and fed her a lollipop, it's going into her gut. It's affecting her allergy receptors. Then her diabetes is being spiked. Does that make sense? Yeah. Any other questions?
Mommy, bang on.
You got a few questions in there, sister.
I'm having a look, sorry. Can our body get side effects from too much minerals? Yes. Yes, they can. If you can, you can overdose on anything. It will take a hell of a lot to get all the minerals into your body and overdose. But too much vitamin C can make your brain think it's got a tumor. Yeah. So the body will, just like anything can be good for you and anything can be bad for you. But if you consume too much of it, it's going to override itself. If I sat there and drank too much water, even though it's amazing for me, I'm going to drown my cells out. If I sit there and eat too much apples, the vitamins from there are going to overdo it. You need a perfect amount, and you will feel it in your body. The main mineral that you should contain is iron, because iron grows in the ground. So as it's growing in the ground in whatever source it's growing in, while it's in that process, it's attracting all the other minerals through it to the ground. So once you put that iron in your body through kale, drink heaps of kale water, I'm telling you, you'll feel amazing. If you just can't start consuming sea moss or kale, that mineral's bringing every other mineral to your body because it's already got it from the ground. So you don't have to contain the vitamin C and the vitamin A, all of it. You should still, please don't stop. But if you want to focus purely on your minerals, get your iron up. Get your iron up through the roof, and every other mineral will start to attract to it. And once you start doing that, you will have a little soldier of antibodies being ready to fight off any disease 10 times harder. And you will notice you'll start having a cold. Maybe you have colds for a week. All of a sudden, you've only got colds for 2 days. Because your antibodies, your iron is fighting 10 times harder. But do not overconsume anything, minerals, food, anything. And you'll know. It'll show up in your body. You'll get, yeah. Diabetes. Had a stroke, yes. Honestly, so my sister, true story, my sister had a spinal stroke, which caused her to go blind, caused her to lose her talking, and caused her to lose her walking. I put my sister on the Omegas, and this happened in the second lockdown. What year was that? 2022. Anyway, we're 2024 now. She just drove a car for the first time on the weekend. Okay, so why is that? Is if someone's had a stroke, that's usually to do with the bones. And there's certain nerves that run through the bones that send signals to our brain. That's been shut down. So what you want to do is you want to detox your body, which clean all the toxins out of the body, which Tapia's detox is a great one, but do it 2 more times maybe to really go onto a cellular level. detox that, and then you build the body back up with what it needs. If it's coming from a stroke, instantly you need copper into your body because it's the nervous system that's coming from the brain, and you need calcium for the bones, wherever that stroke was caused, right? So you detox the body, you get her on our products, you build it back up, and you feed her directly calcium, but omegas. Those omegas is what's helping the nervous system because it's bringing electricity, it's bringing oxygen to the brain, which then allows our brain to create electricity, to put that electricity where it needs to go, where her stroke started from. The muscles in her face will start to get easier. But please don't expect real life healing to happen in a week. Don't expect that. My sister's been on this journey for 2 years. Please don't expect the body is it's an intracellular cleansing body. You have to cleanse it, clean the blood, clean the toxins, clean the brain, clean all of it for you to start to see real results. Does not take a week. It takes longer than 4 months. You just start to recycle, right? Your last red blood cell turns over every 4 months, which is why we ship these for 4 months, so you can start seeing real results. After that last red blood cells turns over on the 4th month, you have another 4 months you need to rebuild now that blood cycle, and another 4 months of taking it and maintaining it, and another 4 months of keeping it at that cellular level. The body is a deep healing. It takes longer, about 2 years to have real self-healing, honestly. Any pointers for people that suffer from gout? That I have tried almost everything. Gout would be a blood thing. So once again, detox the blood and build it up with the minerals, right? So your minerals, when I think of the feet, like I don't know every little thing about diseases, but just off the top of my head, you need to get oxygen going to the feet. The cells in the feet have been cut off. When cancer starts to grow in the body, cancer is a cell, and that cancer cell the brain has shut down the nervous system to send oxygen to that cell, right? That's why when people start taking CBD brings oxygen, brings the attention to that cell. Then the brain can read the cell again, and it opens up oxygen to that cell and it starts to die. You need to do the same with the feet. So if it's something with gout, it has something to do with your blood, it has something to do with your diet, and something that's setting off this, that is not clicking with your cells, if this makes sense. So there's either too much salt or not enough salt. And when I say salt, I'm talking about Epsom salt. That store-bought salt that you buy in the thing is bleached. It's bleach. You're drinking bleach. You're eating bleach. It's bleach. Okay, I'm just going to keep it real. It's bleach. Change over to your Epsom salts, your sea salts. What that does is it helps the water go to your feet. It helps the water go properly through your body. And so once again, I honestly put this down to omegas. And if I had something like gout, I would not eat until 11 o'clock. I would drink water with nothing but Epsom salts. And then I would build my body up with the minerals that I'm needing in my diet. Avocados, kale, not carrots. Carrots are the fucking worst for you. Not kumaras, watercress. All of this is alkaline real food. Quinoa. All these are vibrating foods. They're living foods. Your stuff like rice and beans and bread and carrots and broccoli, they're actually really bad for you. They're made from starch. Anything that made from starch is got no nutrition. Okay, anything that's GM modified is no nutrition. They will lie to you because we live in a spiritual war. But what for a person with this makes heaps of sense. Well. How can our products help with extreme eczema? So whatever the body can't digest, okay, if something's coming up in the skin, the cholesterol is working too hard. And you'll hear these stories, right? The cholesterol is what gets everything out of the body and puts it back where it's supposed to be. And once the body is overflowed with too much junk, it can't do that. It can't work as fast. A beautiful example of this is you will hear stories of someone from a teenage high school drinking themselves to death. The reason why they drunk themselves to death is their cholesterol is going like this so much, so fast, it disappears. They dissolve their own cells. So eczema is just a real, your body's working too hard to fight stuff. There's too much going on in the body that it's now manifesting in the skin. The skin is a sponge. Okay, so whatever you put on your skin, whether your shampoos, your conditioners, your skincare, your body washes, all of that shit your skin is a sponge. It goes straight to the kidneys and the liver. The kidneys and the liver's job is to digest, to detox, to get rid of things. Once your kidneys and your liver are moving too much, it starts to affect your pancreas. Then your pancreas can't digest anything. It comes out into your skin. That's why when you go out for a week drinking, 2 weeks later you're covered in pimples and everywhere, and you're like, fuck, why am I covered in pimples, bro? Or you're eating too much chocolate and now you've got rashes everywhere. Or your kids are lacking in a certain mineral, so they're getting rashes everywhere. You can't figure out why. You take them to a doctor. The doctor tells you to put this cream on them. The cream's filled with chemicals. It goes back into the liver. The liver can't digest it, and you're back there again in 6 weeks. You know what I mean? So it's just a circle way. That's why I don't consume pharmaceuticals. I don't judge anyone that does, but I'm just saying you have to know what is in that situation, you know, like, so if I had eczema, that's a very tricky one. I'm telling you, because there's many people that will go the natural route and do it and be healed. And then there's other people that will do all the things and their kids still have eczema. And it's nothing to feel guilty or horrible about it. We all love our children. So please know that whatever you do, never feel guilty for trying everything. But the things that I have honestly seen to work with eczema is when you focus on the diet. And I will encourage you, because whatever the body cannot digest, it will just inflame the skin. So look into Dr. Sebi or Barbara O'Neill and Real. If you don't know who Barbara O'Neill is at the time of wearing this stuff, I'm mind blowing, guys. Barbara O'Neill, write her down, TikTok her when you're on your toilet taking a shit. Watch this woman. She preaches the truth, right? And she does it in a different way from Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi is very do this, this, and that, and you'll have these results. Barbara O'Neill will give you options for both lifestyles you want to live. So what I would do for eczema is I would focus on what you're putting inside your diet. Try your very, very best to remove any foods with acid. You can't remove them completely. This is the world we live in, but do your best to watch what you're giving them for breakfast. Change it up to a fruit salad instead of a bowl of cereal. I know maybe it takes a little bit of extra time, but for your baby's healing, it's worth it. Be careful on what, and I'm assuming you already do, but be careful on what shampoos and stuff you're putting on their skin, and what they're soaking in and chemicals, because we live in a world full of chemicals. Try your very best to get rid of that. And here's a thing called sea moss. People look into sea moss. We have 102 minerals that our body needs to be complete, that we cannot lack disease. Sea moss has 92 of those minerals straight in that. It's a seaweed. It's grown in the ocean. So start giving your baby tables of sea moss. The sea moss turns into a gel when you soak it in water. Put it on their skin. Those minerals all soaking in the skin. Do it for 6 months. You know, like I said, you're not going to see results straight away. I heard of a mama. I don't know if anyone on this chat can remember this, but last year we had a launch and there was a mama who had taken our protein shakes, mixed it with oil, and started putting it on her baby's skin for rashes, and it was helping her. So my biggest advice for any disease for the skin is knowing that your liver and your kidneys is being overworked. So that's acid, and that's why you get UTIs and stuff as well, because your kidneys are overworked and it's got too much acid in the kidneys. That's created by food. Disease is 90% created by food, and we never would think it, because we've never been taught to look at our food, right? So eczema, I would detox the body. Just like when I say detox, I mean start fasting. The easiest way is start fasting, because once you stop eating for a couple of days, your body goes into this ketosis mode. You would have heard of keto, right? It goes into this ketosis mode where it will start to eat all the crap in your body away. Now, if you do that for too long, then your body starts to eat itself. It's not good. But if you do it for a certain amount of time, it will eat all of the toxins that aren't supposed to be there. Okay. And then after those 3-4 days of period, build your body back up. Get intentional with our capsules. Have your shakes for breakfast. Have healthy dinners for lunch. And 80% of the human energy goes on our digestive system. So if you eat foods and you learn about foods that digest quickly, like fruit and veggies take 20 minutes, a piece of meat takes over 2 hours to digest, right? So you cut back on your meat a little bit. Doesn't have to be forever, just a little bit. Maybe make it dinner time, no breakfast and no lunch. Why? Because meat is covered in acid. I'm sorry, y'all. I want to break this down to you, but it is. It's covered in acid. It's feeding the disease, okay? But just, you do you and you do it proudly, but just be aware of these truths. But yeah, she has a lovely section of natural products. Yeah, sea moss is amazing. But yeah, there's heaps to learn about the body, and in my journey, like I've said, starts with what you put in your mouth. That's where it starts, whānau. And if you're going to take anything away from this conversation, because I know we're going over time, but if you're going to take anything from this conversation, learn what you put in your mouth. And then once you learn how simple, because the body is simple, bro. Our creator made us simple and beautiful. It is humans that made it all confusing. You know what I mean? Our body, our main thing is the blood. Take care of your blood, it will take care of your brain. Your brain will take care of everything else. But if you can't take care of your blood and your iron levels, that's the one thing we can control. We can't control that they spray our foods with diseases, and we can't control all this other stuff, but you can control what you put in your mouth and getting your iron levels up there. Know that our products cover everything I just talked about. They cover the brain, they cover the blood, they cover the guts. They are affordable. I know when I first joined this business, I was like, hey, who wants to spend $88 on, but then you're like, I just explained how that is so amazing for you and what it's doing to the body. Most people's anxiety, panic attacks, depression, all of it start with the mind, that start with the gut, that starts with food in your mouth. Okay. And just another fun fact, your body will start to digest food the minute your eyes see it and you smell it. Digestion starts in the mouth. Everything starts in the mouth. You can control that part of ourselves. So yeah, if you have any questions and anything, ask me in future. Know that our products, they cover everything. I know I spoke briefly about them, but I just really wanted to use today to pour some truth and knowledge into the human body and diseases, because that's where like evil is winning in the world, is everyone's sick and tired and sick, so yeah, if there's any questions, that's it. But I think I covered everything I needed to. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much, sis. Honestly, like, what a bloody woman, right, guys? I'm just so freaking speechless. Mind blowing at absolutely everything you spoke about today. Honestly, I probably took away 20 new things with your kōrero. So thank you so much, sis, for being able to share a lot of your knowledge with us, especially the things that we don't know. And these are the things that we need to know to be able to help us market our product well. So thank you so much, sis. And like our sister said, if you have any more questions, please don't feel shy to jump into her DMs and ask those questions, team. We're all here to help us all strive and succeed in every single way. So yeah.